Hello, Reese from the Point Music Podcast thingy. This special episode, our guest is Rose Rogers. She's a Brisbane artist. She's released an EP called Paper Dreams. It is a very cool EP. Particularly check out the piano version of the title track. There's a few other ones on there. If you like sort of singer-songwriter stuff, but mixed with a bit of Billie Eilish kind of stuff too, you'll dig it. Very cool artist. Enjoyed this chat. Ladies and gentlemen, people all sorts, Rose Rogers.
Sweet, let's do it.
Let's do it. We are doing it. The interview, that is. Hello,
Perfect.
hello, Rose. How are you?
Hello, Reese. I'm great. How you going?
People ask me this, and I usually go, "Oh yeah, it's been one of those days," but today was one of those fucking days. Yeah, we won't get into details. I've got all this underlying sort of shit. But have you ever seen that meme where there's a squirrel and he's just looks like he's yelling at a rock, and it just says one of those days, and the squirrel's yelling out "fuck off, rock"?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I'm that squirrel today, basically. So yeah,
just one of those days.
it's just one of those days. But there was some good shit too. You can swear in this podcast, by the way. It's fine. So
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the heads up.
Just don't drop the C bomb too much, or if at all, or anything.
Yeah, no one likes the C-bomb.
No, it's happened once on this podcast, and that's it.
That was the only time you had to edit.
No, I didn't edit it. I just went, screw it. It's fine. We're Australian. It happens.
That's it.
But we're here to talk about your EP because
Awesome.
Ungrained, your PR, hit me up and said, "Would you like to?" And I said, "You know what? Let's get Rose onto this podcast."
Why not?
Yeah. Well, have you played up on the sunny coast yet?
No, I haven't done any gigs up there. No, I've only sort of stuck around Brisbane and Southside.
You need to drag your butt up here, mate.
Yep,
because
that's the plan.
Well, your EP. I was only today because I had to drive around a lot today with appointments and that I actually got to really absorb it, and you would fit right in up here. So
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's say Paper Dreams is the EP. When did it come out?
Yep.
It was only a couple of weeks ago.
The whole EP got released on the 3rd of March.
Yeah.
So just literally 2 weeks ago today. But Paper Dreams and Crime have been out since 2019.
Yeah, I
so
saw that.
A few years.
Now,
Yeah.
is that because of the dreaded C word? Is that why?
Not really. It happened actually, no, that's correct, because I was meant to release the CP this time last year.
Yep.
And obviously everything went to crap. So yeah, it got sort of delayed by a year. So
And there's so many a lot of artists decided to go, screw it and release something, and it worked. Some it didn't. And in the case of one of the bands I'm in, Barefoot, we were supposed to release an album last year, and still waiting for it to be released.
Yeah, didn't happen.
It will be happening.
I thought it would be an interesting. Yeah, just didn't get to do it last year, obviously.
Well, there's no point, can't tour it.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Which
bit of a shame. It was an interesting year for music last year, I reckon. I was pretty impressed that a lot of people still got to release some cool tunes, which is awesome for the music industry. But yeah, really tough year for everyone.
But we're at the other end of it, and we're doing all right. I mean, we're pretty lucky in this state. So, I mean, Brisbane and Sunny Coast and Gold Coast are becoming like new music hotbeds for Australia, because poor old Melbourne had to suffer in Sydney. Well, we don't know what's happening with Sydney, but yeah, and you're right smack bang in the middle of it.
That's it. No, it's a good location for sure for the music scene. So I'm pretty excited about what's to come this year. So at the moment, I'm pretty much just trying to just get every gig I can get, really, just wherever. So yeah, hopefully Sunshine Coast is next on the list.
We'll chat after all this, and I can give you a heads up on a few things.
Yeah, perfect.
Easy. You actually sold out Black Bear Lodge for this EP launch that you did too. Was that your first ever big sellout thing?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's so funny because it was only like limited because of COVID. It was
Yeah.
only limited to 100 people.
Yeah.
So like I think the maximum capacity for Black Bear is like 250 or something. So
Yeah. It's long
I
and
sold
narrow.
out, but it was only for like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think when I sold out, I was like, yes, but like when you look back on the pictures, it looks like there's not many people there at all.
But
But
yeah.
yeah, no,
That's
it was pretty funny.
that's one of the classic instances that's happened out of this whole COVID thing. And when we came back, was all these artists were able to claim they sold out a show, and it would have been a quarter capacity for most of these things. This is before even restrictions. Yep. So like we go, yeah, we sold out a show, and you sold like literally like 40 tickets.
A quarter of the venue. Still a good feeling.
But you still said sold out, so it's all good.
Exactly. No one needs to know the nitty gritty.
Exactly. Just it looks good on your Big Sound application too. Yeah, when you said I sold out this one.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're normally a solo artist, but did you play with a band that night?
Yes, yeah. So I played with a band. I had a drummer and a guy on lead. The drummer I've known since kindergarten, which was pretty cool to play together at a show. And he's from a band also. And the guy I got for lead is his rhythm guitarist. So that was actually his first time playing lead. So I think it was a little bit rough on it all, but it was good fun playing all together. For sure.
It's always a buzz when you're gonna like come together like that, particularly if you're playing solo stuff and you got like the force of a band behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I think in rehearsals, James, the drummer, he was like, "Oh, have you ever played in a band before, like live?" And I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Oh gosh, like click tracks and so much stuff to learn." So it was definitely an experience, but it was really fun, I think.
Like you were playing to click as well.
He had the click in his ear, but like in every rehearsal we had the click track. So like that was obviously not something I was used to. I'm used to playing songs ridiculously slow and yeah. So like obviously my EP was recorded to a click track. So he was like just following that, but in every rehearsal I was like, "Oh, can we slow it down? Can we slow it down?" He's like, "This is like exactly the same as your recorded version," but I just like couldn't handle how fast it was. But just one of those things really you got to get used to.
Yeah. Wow, I was just trying to think of how much of a baptism of fire that would be. Not having played in a band properly before, and two, like playing with click track. That would, oh wow, that would do my head in.
Yeah, no, I think when he first started mentioning it, I was a little bit nervous about how the performance would go, and I think I was a bit uneasy, thinking, "Oh, I've got to get like everyone's parts together, and I might not have time to worry about my own stuff." But it ended up working pretty good.
One of the things I want to bring out too, because the singles you brought out were Crimes and Paper Dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. However, the track Houses is the one that stood out to me, bar one song. And I have a question for you as to why. Do you play piano? Or did someone else play piano? You do? Then...
yes, and I played in the songs as well, yeah.
Okay, so Paper Dreams, the piano version, it actually hit me harder than what the proper single version did. And it had me thinking
that's awesome.
Well, it had me thinking as to why you didn't actually merge those two together for one kick-ass, like, epic ballady bit. Because I don't know, I reckon that's...
Yeah, it probably would have worked. I probably could have brought in like all the components of the drums and everything into one big tune. I never actually thought of that, to be honest. But I think it was sort of like a last minute studio thought. Like I was in there like, "Oh, should I make it 4 tracks, 5 tracks?" And the guy I recorded with had this like awesome piano, and it was just like staring at me every day. So I was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna do a piano version of this," and it was sort of like a last minute thing. But yeah, it was it's like the most basic track on the whole EP. Like it's got basically vocals, piano, and some strings and a bass. But it's like a few people say they like, similar to your comments, that it hit a bit more hard than the generic sort of poppy version.
Well, I don't even think that the proper version of it that came out, I don't think you can find it that pop. And I get where you were going with it, but I actually think that the piano one's actually more pop.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, maybe you could actually try and merge those two together and release that again, because I think that would be one kick-ass single, mate. Seriously.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe like start off with like an intro and verse with the piano, and then everything sort of comes in.
Big crescendo.
Like a big ending. That'd be cool.
Yep. I mean,
yep.
It worked for Olivia, whatever her name is, with that driver's license song, but like.
Yeah.
I find. I mean,
definitely.
I can't handle that song. It gets played too much.
Drilled into your brain.
Yeah, I'm over it. But I don't know. Like, I've been in this industry. I'm old, so I've been doing this for a long time. But the whole really awesome and quirky voice mixed with piano, and that does its cycles. It comes and goes. I mean, you look at Vanessa Carlton with was it 1,000 Miles, whatever it is.
1,000 Miles, yeah.
Yeah, and there was actually a few artists in that era that did a similar sort of thing, and then it went the way of like real pop and away from that, and then it comes back around again. And we're seeing it happen again. I mean, like I just said with that Olivia with driver's license, and there's a few others coming around. So I would have been capitalizing on that, because you got the talent, because your songwriting's great.
Thank you. It's awesome.
It's all good. I like the grab quote that was on your press release. If Billie Eilish and Matt Corby, if Billie Eilish and Matt Corby had a baby, they would give birth to Rose's voice.
Yeah, a friend from uni said that one, and it's always stuck with me.
It's pretty apt.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to figure out what your voice reminded me, because your voice isn't usual, and
that's cool. I get a lot of people say that, and it's a really cool compliment, I reckon, because it's like I had a friend, I had a gig in South Bank in Brisbane, and a few friends came, and she was like, I think it was the first time she'd actually seen me play, and she's like, you just have something different. Like it's like how Adele has something different, and how Katy Perry has something different. Like they all have their own individual voices. She's just like, I just didn't realize like how unique and different yours was. So it's like, it's always such a nice thing to hear back. It's awesome feedback. But yeah.
Particularly with your talking voice, and I actually half expected your talking voice to be at this, because you got a deeper talking voice, right? Yes. And I actually expected that to happen. I mean, I've got 3 daughters, and one of my middle daughter, she's actually a singer, and she's learning how to do songwriting herself. And she's got a deep voice, but when she sings, she's got this really pretty voice that comes in there.
Super fairy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
And I love that.
It's weird how that happens. Yeah, so I a lot of people comment on that as well. They're like, oh, like I didn't expect your voice to be like this. I'm like, thanks.
Did it just come out that time?
I get it.
Like, did it just come out that way? Did it just come out that way for you?
Yeah, I think so. It's not like I don't. Yeah, it just comes out that way naturally. Like I think I just, like when I sing, that's just how it comes out. It's quite like an airy sound, and that's just what it's always been. Like it would be freaking awesome to be able to, like, you know, do some deeper stuff and some like belting and that sort of thing, but like I just don't think it's sort of in me to do it. But yeah, that's I guess it's just a thing, really.
It's always in you to do it. It just takes the right sort of push to actually get you to that level, I think. Yeah, definitely. That's like right up there to learn how to belt. Well, belt or sing, like super powerful. Well, you've got that tone there. And it's not like you talk. I just don't
know how to use it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't see why
I
you
think I
can't.
did have, um, Guy Sebastian. I had, it's so funny. Guy Sebastian's younger brother, Chris Sebastian,
Mm.
he was offering these like singing lessons over like something like this. Like I think it was like Skype, like years ago. And I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll like give it a shot. And he was pretty much trying to get me to like train me to use basically my talking voice. What's it called? It's like basically in between your talking voice and your head voice.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. You might know what it is. But anyway, it was super expensive, so I only did like a month worth of lessons. But I would like to get on that train again and try to learn how to properly use my voice, for sure.
So when you first like, did you learn piano or guitar first when you started singing? Which came first?
Piano. So I've been playing piano since I was 6.
Right.
And then guitar came like pretty much like through high school. So maybe like 14,
Yeah.
13, 14. And then singing was always there. I think I was just a super shy performer. Like I just never ever wanted to sing in front of people. So I was always like, I want to be a singer, but I'll mask it with guitar and piano, and no one will ever know that I can sing. So like all through high school, I would like sing, but super, super, super quiet, and like just never ever wanted to show people that I could sing, even though it's what I wanted to do.
Yep.
Which is quite interesting, I think. Yeah.
That's where it comes from. It's basically like you're not unsure of yourself, so you let this sort of sweet little voice come out in that way instead of belting. Interesting.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I just recently with like gigs, I've noticed that like when I'm playing, like I don't actually realize how like anxious I am, even though I feel confident and I feel like I can have a good gig and stuff. But I'm like if I take a second to like pause, I'm like, oh, I'm actually, like I feel like I'm like not singing as good as I could, or not playing as good as I could. And like sometimes I like realize those moments, and I'll like actually play better and sing better if I just like relax for a second. But it's just so interesting that like I can pick up my guitar and play and sing, but there's just this like wall where I'm like, oh, I know I could sing better, but I don't want to, in case I fail or stuff up or something like that.
That's when you just got to go into automated.
You probably know the drill.
Mode. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know about you, but I get a different persona when I get on stage.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's not anything I feel like, in the day to day. It's definitely a whole different feeling performing. Yeah.
Well, because I play in three different bands, so I have I wear different clothing, and I have different basses, and I wear different things. I have different personalities in each of those bands. It's weird how it works out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So talking to a lot of performers, they do the same thing. Yeah, well, whatever makes you feel comfortable, and like you say, you have that barrier there with the stage. Even just like a microphone in front of you and your instrument sort of strapped to you, you have this barrier. And a lot of people that aren't musicians don't quite understand that this like minute little invisible barrier thing that we've got happening here has an effect on us. It makes us feel like we can't be bothered while we're in our zone. You come into this world, you're on our, like, you come onto this stage right now, you're in our world, and this is what's going to happen. Yeah. So I don't know if you go there in your mind when you're on stage or not. Oh
yeah, for sure. You're in your own little bubble, really, and it's like it's so easy for people to say, like just smile more, or sing louder, or do this, or speak clearer, or like like my mum's been telling me that since day one, like just smile and do this, and it's like it's obviously easier said than done, but it's just so strange. Like you're going to be your worst enemy, sort of thing. Like I'll record songs by myself and play music by myself and be like, oh, that actually sounds okay, and then I'll like get up in front of people and be like, why the hell am I singing like this? Like I could sing at least 20% better, and I know it.
You just got that little
But
block
yeah,
there that stops you. Just go,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure it's all obviously a learning curve. I think with each performance, I get a bit more confident and learn new things and come out of my shell a little bit more, which is, really good growth.
Yeah, everyone has their own spinach, to use the Popeye term. If you have a bigger crowd there, that
Yeah.
you get feedback off that. I find alcohol works. Both, actually.
Both hurts the day after.
Oh, it depends. You can sweat it all out depending on how you play, I guess. I mean, I'm probably a little bit more energetic in some of my music than what you're used to, so yeah.
That's it. That's it.
So I want to talk about Paper Dreams again. And
Yep.
it was in the press release again. Like, I very rarely have notes, and I've actually scribbled these down on a napkin because I basically literally got home 20 minutes before this podcast started because like I said, I had one of those days.
That's all right. It's all good.
It says it was written during your prime years of travel bug. And seriously, how old are you for you to
Why
be
does
having...
that sound? Why does that sound so cheesy?
I know.
Said back to me.
Well, prime years, man. Like, seriously, I'm 42 and I only started traveling in my 30s, mate. So,
Oh man, I'm 26, and I guess my prime traveling years were like like 19 to 22. Got it over and done with early.
No, don't. Like, speaking from experience here, I had the most fun in my 30s.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard that.
I traveled
A
the
few
most
years
in my
away, but
30s. Like, I did New Zealand,
awesome.
did UK, I've done America, and plus toured all around Australia, that sort of stuff in my 30s. And now.
Very cool.
So, yeah, you're not even touching your prime years, so I would rewrite that shit.
I'll go back and change it.
Yeah, go back and change it. Come on. But, like, so if the whole song was written, like, during your travel bug era, so what inspired it?
Yep. It was like, I think I was in a real spiral of just like, my friends were living overseas at the time, and I just was living with my parents, and I had like money saved, so I was just like bam like booking flights everywhere, and it was just fun. Like, it wasn't it I don't know, it was just sort of, I don't want to use the word awakening, that sounds too
No,
full
it's
on,
fine.
but
No,
it was just like a really good, yeah, it was just nice. It was nice to be able to like have the freedom to just do that. And obviously, like, considering last year, like, we can't even do stuff like that freely anymore. So it was a really fun, awesome chapter. And I think after all of it finished and all the hype was over and I was just at home, back in my 9 to 5 job, it was sort of just like all these ideas just trapped in my mind, and then I just wanted to sort of write about it, and it just came out. It was just like this song, and all these ideas coming, like, oozing out of my brain, and it sort of all came together quite quickly, which was really cool. That's why I sort of always relate it back to that chapter of the travel bug.
So it was a song vomit.
Yeah, I guess it was a song vomit
from jet lag.
It was exactly. It's a good way to put it.
So where'd you go then?
But yeah, it's funny because I pretty much went to the same 3 places, like, over and over again.
That's all right.
It was good. I think it was like a fun, just those years when, like, nothing else matters and you just want to make friends and you feel like nothing can stand in front of you. But it was I went to Canada and the States, like, a handful of times. I went to Mexico twice.
Ooh.
And yeah, that was good fun. Went to Europe. It wasn't the biggest Europe trip, but we managed to do it in like just under a month. So we did
That's
sort of all the,
a lot more
the
what most people
places.
do, mate. Seriously.
Yeah, well, I feel like it was a very crammed trip. Like, it was like super, like, we had a very tight deadline to do everything. So we sort of had to skip from place to place. But it was awesome. Really, really cool.
Where'd you go in Europe?
And obviously I haven't done any of that. We started in Italy and geez, it's a bit cloudy now.
That's all right.
Italy and sort of worked our way up. So then we went to Austria
Nice.
and then went to Germany, went to Belgium, and yeah, pretty much worked our way down again. And yeah, it was awesome.
See, I only did Amsterdam in Europe, and then basically went to the UK. So
Yeah, cool.
but my eldest daughter, she spent 2 weeks in Italy, and she fell in love with
Awesome.
the Amalfi Coast. So she would have.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's very cool. I didn't get to go there, but I've heard it's amazing.
Oh yeah, well, she sent pictures through to me, and I was like, whoa. I mean, I wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
in Italy right now because it'd be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it's a very beautiful area. But so where was your favorite place in Europe?
I would say Italy.
Mm.
Just like everywhere we went was just freaking awesome.
That's what
Just
I've heard.
like just people, the food, just like a restaurant every like second building, and you can just sit down and literally they are so lovely and just really, really cool. Just so much fun as well. I think it was definitely the highlight. I went to the UK for about 2 days and it was pretty much just like
It's like here.
I was back in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's
It's
just
just
like I was in
colder.
Australia
Yeah.
again. Yeah. So I didn't really think it was amazing, but it was still cool to go.
Did you do Ireland at
But
all?
I think no.
So Ireland's
I would
different.
love to go there though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, I got very, very drunk in Ireland, but it's worth it. I have a good friend that lives in
Awesome.
lives in Cork, and a few others that are from Ireland, and they say yeah, it's way better than. I mean, my family history comes from the UK, particularly England,
Cool.
and I always wanted to go there. But you're right. It's very much it's like being in Melbourne, kind of. It's
Yeah. It was funny being like in Italy and sort of all the European countries below that, and then like going to the UK, it was like, oh, okay, like everything's just like a whole different world here. But there's like posters of pies for sale and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm back in Brisbane. But no, it was it was cool.
So what about that
Yeah.
trip actually inspired you to write like Paper Dreams though? Like, is it longing to be back back there or?
The whole thing of Paper Dreams is pretty much it's so funny. Like people always ask what it's about, and I feel like I have a different description every time. But it's
Interpretation.
I've come to realize exactly no, it all sort of blends into one. But it's basically about when you write stuff down on paper and anything like goals or resolutions or dreams or anything like that, and places you want to go or anything creative, and you're turning it into a reality. So that's pretty much what it was. So I guess I've always felt that way, but the trip was sort of enhancing all of those emotions and everything. So it sort of ended up in a bit of a songwriting thing.
So the plans are after this, because the EP's out, you've done your EP launch. So what are you doing next?
Yep. I have heaps and heaps of unreleased stuff, which I just need to finish and get out there. Like I've got is that every muso ever?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, like I will think of something during work and like write it down in my notes and like record something, and I'm like, oh, I've like looked back on it in a few months and I'll be like, oh, that was actually really good. Like I need to finish that off. So there's like about 100 of those things sitting in my phone that I need to just, get around doing. But yeah, I guess it's just a time thing really. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this year. There's a lot of stuff I want to record and keep getting out there. So
even if you're just doing sort of like your voice and a piano, or your voice and a guitar, and just basically going through an interface and just stick it up on the SoundCloud for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with you doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Demos,
Just
demos are
something
key.
small to get you by.
Yeah, well, demos are key. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And if it's
demos. That's yeah.
I was gonna say if it's mixed enough, stick it on TikTok, and you never know what the fuck's gonna happen with it. Basically,
Yeah, that's all the rage now, isn't it?
be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted
No,
you.
I've got to
Wait.
get on that. No, that's okay. It's okay. I lost my train of thought anyway. It happens quite
I
often.
said demos, and then you were about to say something, and I went, "Oh, I've got an idea."
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say like I've never like basically a demo is just like a rough draft, isn't it?
It can be, but sometimes
It can
some
be
demos can actually be a thing that grabs people's
the finished
attention.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Here's an example for you. So John Farnham. Every Australian knows John Farnham, and everyone knows The Voice, right? The song The Voice. It actually isn't his song. It was actually written by a Scotsman, I believe. He was in this period of coming off being the Prince of Pop in Australia kind of thing, and Glenn Wheatley, his manager, found this song for him, and John Farnham went and recorded the demo for it, and the vocals he did, the original vocals he did for it, basically Glenn Wheatley's his eyes just exploded. He's just gone, this is it, this is the song. And
that's it. Yeah.
They presented it. He just did the demo for it. They presented it to the record label. The record label was like, "Yep, go in the studio." They went into the studio and he recorded like 20 vocal takes or something like that. I know there's a whole story on YouTube about it. And Glenn got the okay from the producer saying, "Yeah, we're done. Come have a listen to the final mix." So he grabbed a bottle of champagne. He came to the studio, and they said, "Yep, listen to this." And they put the mix on, and he listened to it, and he's just gone, where's all the fire? Hang on, this song, is that it? And he's like, yeah. And John Farnham's just sitting there just going, yeah, this is what I spent, like I did 20 vocal takes on this thing. And he's just gone, huh. They actually used the demo vocals for the song when it came out, and it went to number one and all that sort of shit. So there you go. You never know where.
Wow.
You never know where you. I mean, that's a very abridged version of it. There is a way better story. Anyone watching this or listening to this, it's on YouTube, I believe. Yeah. But it's well worth taking into consideration that a lot of great songs actually end up using the first take, the demo take, instead of the properly recorded one, because it has that spontaneity to it. It has that fire to it. It has that unexpected humanness to it, I guess.
Yeah.
If you've managed to catch
something.
It's like, yeah.
I suppose it's like, it's the fresh sort of initial idea as well that's like coming out, so it's like raw and it's organic. So I can understand that for sure.
It creates emotion, and
that's cool.
I mean, there's plenty. I reckon there's like the same as like Chili Peppers. Okay, so one of the biggest albums they ever had, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. John Frusciante would never overdo his solo takes. He actually just did them, and that was it. He said, "Yep, that's done." So his guitar might be even out of tune, and he still did them and laid them down. That's why it's so goddamn hard to replicate his stuff, because of the fact that he just went in there and did his thing and then done. And oh shit, your guitar's out of tune. Too bad. That's how it's going to be. There you go. It makes for something really special. So just remember that. If you're laying down recording in a demo and all of a sudden you capture a bit of a fire in it, fucking keep it.
Even if it's a voice memo on your iPhone.
Yep. Why not? I mean,
true.
You know the story behind Bad Guy with Billie Eilish, right? Do you know where the hi-hats come from?
I actually just watched her.
Oh,
no, I actually just watched her documentary, but I don't think they covered that in it. But no, tell me about it.
They were touring when she was in Australia, touring with her brother Phineas. Yeah, the hi-hats that are in, I think it's like a hi-hat kind of thing in Bad Guy, is actually the pedestrian crossing noises that we have in Australia. That
that is cool.
They recorded that.
I feel like I've heard that.
Yep.
That's very cool.
Always use weird shit in your recordings because you never know
Yeah.
where it's going to
Yeah.
be. I
That's
love it.
it.
Mate, we've
Jeez.
gone past the half-hour mark already, so we'll wrap this up. I will
No worries.
link to the actual EP after in the description of this sort of shit. So
Cool.
I'm digging that EP, man. But yeah, consider that whole like Paper Dreams mashup between the piano and the release version of it for a re-release because I reckon it'd be
Definitely.
sick.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely try and incorporate that for sure. Or maybe even like next time I play it live, I could bring the piano out and try to do a big
Do it.
version of it or something.
People love watching piano.
Why
man.
not?
Why not? I mean, it's another piece of equipment you got to lug around, but yeah, just
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah, that's it. People do get, I think, generally excited when they see a piano.
Yeah, they do.
Don't know why, but I guess it's just because it's different than seeing the
Guitar.
the generic guitar and the singer.
Yeah. I mean, I carry a
That's
synth. I have a little like a Novation synth that I bring on stage with
Yeah,
two
cool.
of the bands I'm in, and I play bass and synth at the same time. And then people say, "Oh, we weren't expecting
Very
that."
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah. Not by default, by force. Rose Rogers, this has been fun.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it later, mate.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Paper Dreams is out now. We'll get you on the sunny coast soon enough. Hang on the line there. I'll have a chat to this. Everyone else, adios, and do check out the EP. Hope you enjoyed that one. I just realized Rose Rogers has alliteration in the name, and she could be a superhero. Maybe she is. Who knows? Big shout out to Rose for joining in. That was fun. We should have recorded the after podcast chats, the debrief bit, because there was plenty more of gold in that. But oh well, for me to know and Rose to know and for you to guess about, I guess. Hope you enjoyed it. Plenty more in the pipeline. Thank you for actually, if you haven't followed or subscribed to this podcast yet, do so. Audio or the video version of it. Thank you for supporting local music, live music, Australian music, all sorts of music. You guys are legends. Cheers.